Hello, welcome to Nattys Crafts. I'm Natalie. I always do all the crafting. So give the video a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. So let's go ahead and go take a look. So we're going to make some Christmas table decor using these items. And this Merry Christmas, I painted it, I believe last year, but I never used it. And so we're going to use it this time. And it's going to say Merry Christmas, obviously, and we need to attach the letters because they're all separate letters. We need to attach those letters to something. So I figured these craft sticks can work. So I'm just going to paint them black so they can just kind of fade into the background and without people noticing much. So we're just going to paint all sides of, I ended up painting 3 of them, and that was enough for the letters that I had. And if you don't have a silicone mat yet, here's the reason why you should have it. You see that dark black paint all over my table? You take a wet wipe and wipe it off when you have a silicone mat, and it's fine. And then you can do it again, apparently. So then the back, I also needed to paint the back of the letters because I hadn't yet done that. I painted the front last year, but never got around to the back. So I'm going to paint it in black because I don't have that maroon color that the letters are, because that was a paint that I made or a color that I made and no idea what colors I used to get there. So we'll use black, and that works. This would be the back side anyway, so that's fine. And we're going to do that for all of our letters, making sure that it's a good dark black. I mean, you know, you're not missing spots. And then back on the front side, the color that I painted the words or the letters was pretty dark. So I just wanted to outline the letters a little bit. So I'm just using this paintbrush marker from Dollar Tree in white. I could have done this in gold too. That would have looked pretty nice. But I'm just doing it in white. And I'm just going to do just a light outline of the edges of each letter, so that they don't get lost in how dark they are. Because again, this maroon is pretty dark. And there's a close-up where you can see it a little better, what I'm actually just going on the very edges of the letters on all sides. And this paintbrush marker comes off really easily if you mess up. If you just take a wet wipe, you can wipe off any mistakes that you might make. I figured that out after making multiple mistakes. You do have to get it wiped off while it's still wet though. So, you know, don't let it sit there all night and then decide you want to wipe it off. And then we're going to add the word Christmas, or both words actually, Merry and Christmas, to the little popsicle sticks that we painted black earlier. And we're just going to hot glue each edge of the bottom of the letters onto the front of the popsicle stick. And obviously you want them to be flat and straight and all the things. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you want the letters to kind of go back and forth. You know, that's always an option as well if you want to get a little crazy with it. But I'm just making mine flat and straight and perfect. And make sure you do leave enough space for all your letters. I almost ran out of space for the S at the end of Christmas. And then we're going to glue on those words, Merry and Christmas, onto our little board that we're going to use to hold our little scene. We're making a scene with a Christmas tree and a nutcracker and then the words Merry Christmas. And then there's going to be a light as well. So I'm just hot gluing these popsicle sticks to my little Dollar Tree cutting board toward the front because I want it to be the focus. So I put the Christmas down first, and then I'm going to glue Merry on top of Christmas. Now I moved my word Merry to the left because my S in the word Christmas, in the middle of the word Christmas, was somehow sticking up. And so I kind of screwed up. So I couldn't put the word Merry in the middle. I had to lean it off to the left a little bit. But it's fine. It looks cute, so that's fine. And then we're going to prepare what's going to be our little Christmas tree. So we're going to make a stem using just the regular tumbling towers from Dollar Tree. We're going to paint them with a little brown color. And then once that dries, we're going to attach some little sprigs to that tumbling tower block to make it look, you know, as much like a tree as you can. And these actually are from, I believe this was Amazon. I may have been Temu, but I believe it was Amazon. And they came in a big box, so I still have lots left. So we're just going to finagle them however you want to make them stay on the block and to look like a tree. There's wire ends on the ends of these, and they were hurting my hands, but all I did was I wrapped the wire around the base of what I'm calling the base of the tree. So around the tumbling tower block. And that secured it pretty well. And then I am going to add some hot glue onto that as well. And we do want to make sure it's super tight because we don't want it falling apart. And there I'm going to add some glue on there, make sure it stays in place. And I think I burnt myself there as well. I burned myself more than once on this craft. And then I figured out that one tumbling tower block was not enough, so then I used one of the little wooden cubes from Dollar Tree, and I glued that onto the back of the tumbling tower block so that it would have more support to hold the tree up. And then we're just going to add as many pieces of greenery as we need to make our tree look like a tree. So I'm just kind of figuring out how I want this to look. I need it to be tall because I want it obviously to be taller than my nutcracker. And I want it to be somewhat full as well so that it doesn't look like a Charlie Brown Christmas. So I'm just doing all that, figuring that all out. And I didn't have to use a lot of glue for that again because the ends of these branches have wire on them. So I just wrapped the wire around. And then we got to do something with this nutcracker. This is one of the nutcrackers from Dollar Tree. I believe I got this last year, maybe even the year before, maybe even when they were $1, who knows. But we can't, we can, I can't do these colors. I need much more muted colors. So I'm just going to pull his hair off. He will get it back though, so no fear there. And then I'm going to paint him. I'm painting him again with that Martha Stewart paint that I used the other day that I liked so much. Now this nutcracker is plastic, shiny plastic. It perhaps would be better if you first sprayed a layer of Mod Podge onto the whole nutcracker because then your paint would stick much better and you wouldn't need so many coats. I believe I ended up with 3 coats of paint. And if you have a small sponge dauber, that would be better. But my sponge daubers are not small enough, so I had to use a paintbrush, and it was like torture. But it ended up looking okay, so I'm okay with it. I put, again, at 3 coats, I think is what I ended up with. And you can see I was kind of having some trouble, but I was able to make it look good. And his little shoulders, cuffs, and belt, I did go over that with a gold marker, a paintbrush marker from Dollar Tree as well. And then we're just going to hot glue his beard and his hair back onto him. And we are going to give him a little haircut just to make sure that his hair doesn't look too crazy. So like right here, it wrapped almost all the way around to his eyeball, so we had to cut some of that off. And so this hair, when you pull it off of the little nutcracker, it's actually squeezed in between the nutcracker's face. So that was strange. But you can't tell once you take the hair off. And then we're going to glue on the nutcracker onto the back kind of corner of our little sign here, or of our little decor. And then we're going to glue the tree on the other side. And you can see my tree was falling apart. So I can't do that. So I left that piece off because it doesn't want to be on there. That's fine. He does not have to join the party. That's fine. And then I ended up gluing some of the Dollar Tree snow onto it to give it a little bit more dimension. And then in the end, I also added the globe with the light in the middle. So here it is without the light. You can see where the snow is, and that was kind of cute in my opinion. And then here it is when I put the light that I made a couple weeks ago. And that looked pretty cool because you can see the Merry Christmas, but you can see the light. Like that looked pretty cool to me. I thank you so much for stopping by Nattys Crafts today. I sure hope you could give the video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below and be sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. Please remember to appreciate today as tomorrow is never promised. Thanks, y'all. Y'all have a great one.